Okay, so for my project, I chose to do image events. Image events, according to our lecture, is an action designed to gain mass media attention. An image event attempts to make an issue controversial and publicize it. Image events are basically mind bombs that expand the universe of thinkable thoughts. So for my first example, the image I chose was the very first image of US soldiers shown dead overseas. Now this picture was made public the day after it was taken, and the country exploded. It was not okay with everybody, and it just kind of shed light on really what was going on overseas. And so for my second example, it is the widely known Titanic sinking. Now, this picture I chose because, I mean, just thinking about it, you know, living in that time period, this was the unsinkable ship. Nothing could deter this ship from reaching where it was going. And well, that's exactly what happened. Over half the people on the ship were killed. And I mean, I can just imagine the mind bomb that was created when people saw this image. Now, I'm not sure if this is the exact image or if this image is real. However, you get the point. Images like this were shown weeks after it had happened and just kept popping up. I feel that this image just kind of created that controversial aspect that is described in the definition of an image event. I don't know, if I were living in that time period and this unsinkable ship sank, there would be no way I would trust the word of man, let alone another cruise vessel. It's insane what could have been going on in those people's minds when they saw these images. For my next example, the man on the moon photo. Now, the reason I chose this picture is because this is a really controversial event as well. A lot of people say that these images are not real, that day in the 1960s we did not land on the moon. However, I believe that this is a real image. That tour that those astronauts took is a real tour, and I mean, it just goes down ever to that day, that when it was aired on TV, I mean, people just were skeptics at first sight. I mean, and today it is still, you know, you can read about it and people don't believe it. They think that TV producers just went to Hollywood and recreated what they believe would be the surface of the moon. It's definitely controversial. So that's why I chose this image. Definitely shows a good image event in history. My next example would be the use of animals in cosmetic testing. I do not like this picture whatsoever, and I do not support it. I think this image is showing something that needs to be widely known. You know, the use of animal testing for cosmetics and perfumes and everything that we humans take for granted, and they need to make sure it's safe, so they use animals. Well, that's just not the right way to go about it. And I mean, this image is very controversial as well. People see this and get really upset really quickly. So for my next example, this says all you can eat rest stop. Now, granted, this is just an ad for the Oscar Mayer Wiener brand, but you can see where the controversy would arise with this image. A lady's mouth wide open and a hot dog car going into it. I mean, a lot of people did not like it because of the sexual innuendo behind it. I think it's a little funny. However, like I said, controversy is key when it comes to these image events, so that is why I chose this image as well. For my next image, and my last image, this is a picture of 9/11. Now, everybody remembers where they were, what they were doing when this tragedy struck. And I just think this is a mind bomb. I mean, the emotions that are connected with these photos are just insane for Americans. And so that's why I chose this. It definitely was a big event, big image event. And I think it goes down in history as something that just explodes our thoughts and how we feel about our country and Americans and the wars, and I could go on and on. So those are my examples of image events. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you on the blog. See ya.